All right, let's see if this is all working. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you can hear me, and if we can, then this is all good to go. Also, let me know if this screen is okay for you guys. Are you all right with this square screen? Oh, hello. Square screen in the middle, or should I change it? Should I make it bigger? I didn't feel like you needed me massively full screen. Evening, Chris. How are you? Hope you're all well. Welcome to the stream. First time I've been live in quite a long time, actually. Only because, and this is for everyone watching now and everyone who watches later, that I haven't had a chance to film a video because of being away on holiday. And then at the end of the holiday, we had to go down to North Wales for a funeral for Natalie's granddad. So that weekend that I would have been at home, I was away. I would have been filming that weekend, and work commitments and so on. I just haven't had the ability to film this week. Otherwise, tomorrow would be the day I'd be filming, uploading. Sorry. So I keep hitting this. Sorry. Hello, Lee. You're all right, pal, Chris? Great. Glad to hear it. Hope you've all got yourselves a little tipple or something. I'm on a couple of beers tonight, and I've got my snacks. I am all sorted. So, yeah. It's in the wrong position, isn't it? I keep smacking it. The trouble is, if I have this little pop filter thing, if I have it coming up over the top, then you see it coming over here on the screen, and it looks daft. So if I have it underneath, it's handy, it keeps it out of the way, but then I smack it with beer bottles. So any questions, anything you want me to talk about specifically, I will do. A couple of things I want to talk about first, just a few things. First of all, thank you to everyone who watches me on YouTube for making sure that I get to 6,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone. Thank you very much. I was not watching the analytics at all, so I didn't know it was coming, and then my TubeBuddy app thing came up with a little indicator saying there was a notification, and it was a milestone indicator, 6,000 subs. So thank you all so much for that. That's a massive deal for me, and I'm chuffed to bits. Also, the podcast that I've got going with Paul Dolden is going really well. We're getting a great amount of feedback for that. I need to be uploading that hopefully Monday night. I'll have that fully edited and done. That will be our 10th episode. Thank you, Lee. So 10 episodes of the podcast down. We love doing it. We really do love putting out the podcast. We love getting together and recording it. It's really fantastic fun. It's different to making a video, because making a video, it's all well and good, but it can be a lonely thing to do, and I don't have any close friends near here who are really interested in car care. So it's really great to be able to get on with Paul, because he's one of my best mates, and we just talk about the thing that we love talking about. It really is awesome fun. It's such a great release that we can talk about things that are going on in the detailing industry and in the community, and we get feedback. We just love it. The podcasts are great, very informative, and also funny. Thank you, Chris. It's all Paul that's funny. Paul is the funny one. I'm the sort of sensible one, although we have our laughs. But Paul's got that humor. He's got that ability, that quick wit to jump on a joke. Love the podcast. Good listening, driving to and from work. Thank you, Alex. That's what we're hoping for, is that with podcasts, I mean, it's all well and good putting out YouTube videos, but you can't watch a YouTube video while you're driving to work, not legally anyway. So it's not ideal. YouTube is a good outlet, but it's not the only outlet, and a lot of you guys want to be informed about what's going on while you're driving to or from work, like Alex said there, or perhaps you are a detailer, a valeter, or perhaps you're just you've got a manual job to do of some sort, or you sit at a desk and you normally listen to music and instead you can listen to the podcast. So the podcast is like listening to a radio broadcast, which is what it's all about, and it's great because it gives you guys the flexibility to engage with that content, absorb that content that you like without having to dedicate time to sit down and watch a video, and that's one of the reasons for it. The Ernie Wise to Paul's Eric Morecambe. Yeah, in a way, Chris, you're right. Paul reminds me a bit of Russ Abbott. Sure. You know, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, we are a double act, and that's what we always have been. We always found that out. We knew that from just getting on with each other. We knew that's the way we were. We bounce off each other really well, and Paul cracks me up all the time. He just cracks me up, and it's his idea that comes up with some things. I like to get him at times. I like to catch him out, like that one episode where I started it as a news broadcast about him using the pressure washer to clean the backside of his guinea pig. He didn't expect that at all, and I loved being able to catch him out on that one, because he says things that I just they catch me out all the time. It was his idea to come up with this new thing where every time I introduce him on a stream, on a podcast, he is hosting it from a random different location. The first one was at the WI, and the next one was at the community centre, and so on. I love things like that. It's brilliant. He's really funny with that. Got to agree with the podcasts are a great listen as doing job around the home and maybe work. Wicked. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we want, is to be able to give you guys content that you don't have to dedicate your time to. Says I could just see Paul's singing atmosphere. Don't get Paul to sing. No. Sooty to Paul's sweep. Wait a minute. Which one was the quiet one? No, Sooty didn't speak. Neither did Sweep, though, didn't they? Sooty or Sweep didn't speak. It was only Sue that spoke. That'll be Savicki. She'll come on and she'll be the Sue to our Sooty and Sweep. I'll have to try and remember that one. That's a good one. That shows off our ages as well, doesn't it? Definitely. Excuse me a second. I have a dry mouth and I need some beer. For anybody interested, I'm drinking Innis and Gunn original. It's actually quite nice. As soon as I finish this one, which will be in a moment, I'm going to move on to a porter here. This is a salted caramel porter from Stewart Brewing. Both Edinburgh brews here, by the way. I'm not in Edinburgh, I'm in Aberdeenshire. But I'll be perfectly honest, I used to be someone who was a big Brewdog fan, and Brewdog are from Aberdeenshire, and that's where they're based. And I've kind of gone off of a bunch of their beers. I think they stopped making one of my favourite beers. So I've switched on to a few other things, and yeah, I'm quite liking this Innocent Gun and some of these other porters. So yeah, I'm kind of moving away from Brewdog, even though I am a Brewdog shareholder. But I didn't pay for that shareholder. I got that. I got that as a gift. Good evening, Lee. How are you, my friend? Lee at Gloss JDM. How are you, mate? Hope you're keeping well. You get free beer as well. No, I don't get free beer. I wish I did get free beer. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm not a huge beer drinker, to be perfectly honest. As I've got older, I am getting into my beers a bit more. I still do like my ciders, though. I like the Brothers Toffee Apple ciders. Because it's not like drinking. You know, you drink most beers and you're like, well, it doesn't actually taste all that nice. Although some of these are quite nice. But the ciders are just like it's drinking juice, you know. Elvis Juice, yeah, Elvis Juice isn't bad. It isn't bad. I'll tell you something. I'm not an IPA fan. I like porters. I like stouts. I like malty, chocolatey things. That's my thing. But my favorite beer before that was the Brewdog 5 a.m. Saint. It was a red ale. Fantastic, and I think they've stopped it. I'm absolutely gutted. That was my thing. Shame, yes, shame. Is actually I just opened this and put it down. Didn't actually drink it. The thing is, it's a bit cold. Natalie had it in the fridge, and it should be warmer. If you want a stout to really come out with its flavors, you need to let it warm up a bit. Actually, it's not bad though. It's not bad. So, what else have we got to talk about? Good Lord. Lots of things going on. So I mentioned the YouTube channel and the podcast. Paul's latest video, if you haven't seen it already, Good video. I can't wait for part 2 of this. He was dealing with a Mercedes, an old, was it 23, 24 years old Mercedes, 97 Mercedes, I believe it was. And it was faded, single stage paint. It was dead, and he was cutting through it. He's done the first stage. I just finished watching that video tonight. So really pleased with that. I can't wait to see how that turns. Well, I know how it turns out, but I can't wait to see it actually happen. That's one of those things where you want to watch a video, you want to see him going through it with the machine polishers and so on. I do have a machine polisher video coming up for machine polishing for beginners, for absolute beginners. It's coming up at some point soon. I just need to iron out a few bits. I was having a shower last night, and Natalie walked in. She had been out. She was dropping off her son with his dad, and she came home, and she quietly came into the house. I didn't hear her, and I'm in the middle of the shower. While I'm in the shower, I'm rehearsing a video, would you believe? This is one of the things when you try and get your mind into videos and so on. Sometimes you can think that it's going to be okay, but until you hear it, then you realize if it's going to sound good or not, or maybe it's a mouthful, maybe it's a tongue twister. And so you have to kind of rehearse it sometimes, and that's what I do. So I was rehearsing it in the shower, and then I turned around, and here she was standing at the door. Hello. Oh, shut up. You know, that was just my thing. I was rehearsing what I'm going to be saying in this video because I don't want it to be too wordy, but I also don't want it to be too ambiguous. I want to get a decent amount of detail across there. So we'll see. I'm missing out some comments here. Sorry. Chris says cider, apples, and therefore one of your 5 a day. I like your thinking. Absolutely on it. CSS172. My brother-in-law is a Brewdog shareholder. He went on a chartered flight arranged by Brewdog somewhere. Can't remember where though. Great story. Was that? I think that was to Columbus, Ohio, wasn't it? I think they had done a charter flight, a private. It was Brewdog Airways, is what they called it, or something. And they were flying people across to Columbus, Ohio, where they had built the brewery for the US. So they don't have to worry about international distribution from Aberdeenshire. They can, if they're going to be hitting the American market, they're actually brewing it in the US. So I think that was maybe what it was about. Mantaman, it's not Specky without the hat. You're absolutely right. I don't have any hats here. Wait, do I have any hats in here? Wait. Oh, god damn it. No, I don't have any hats in here. I'm sorry. All my hats are downstairs. Sorry, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to get used to my hair. It needs a cut. Look at this. Look at that. It's so long. I don't have any hats. There's usually one hat sitting up here. Sorry, Mantaman. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just deal with it without the hat. I apologize. Only if Autoglim did a beer. Ooh, would that be an interesting idea, wouldn't it? But who would make the best beer? Would it be Autoglim because it's such a well-known brand, very, very mainstream? Or would it be one of the smaller brands that do small batch brews? Or would it be one of the giant, huge companies that makes run-of-the-mill stuff like Tennent's? I don't know. Hey up, Stu! Sorry, Stu, I didn't see you there, mate. How are you? If you ever want to get some music for your videos, Stu, he's a legend. I was actually out driving in my mate's car one day, and I says, hey, listen to some of this. And I had my phone connected to his car, and I was playing some of the music, and he's like, this guy wrote that music. I was like, yeah, this one was actually written for me. And he's like, no way. He says, you need to do some lyrics. You need to do some singing on top of that. It needs words. I was like, nah, no. If you remember what my my Christmas music video was all about, we've already discovered I'm not good at singing. So, yeah, unless Stu can do some auto-tune and make me sound awesome, that's not going to happen. Lee, knackered that Movano paint is rock hard. Oh, right, okay, rotary for the win to cut that. Do you know what? I've got my mini rotary and I still can't quite get the full hang of it. I need to practice more with it. I don't have a full-size rotary. I've got a mini one, but it was, something to get me started. Alex Tucker says, ever looked at trying out Synergy Light? No review vids yet. No, because it's a slightly longer term protection product. I'm not looking into those right now. The trouble is I can't put anything on the car that's super long term lasting because I need the video. I need the car to be able to make videos on, so I can't have a long-term protection on there unless I use it on like a test panel or something. If I can get my hands on another test panel, I might try out some longer term protection products. So I haven't looked into it yet, but it could be something. I'm doing something with Infinity Wax at some point soon. I'm just waiting for the word from them, but you'll see what that's about later. Let's see. Paul Clofton, just watched that, great result after the first vid. Yes, that'll be Paul's video. Yeah, I loved it. Great stuff. And Paul was really excited about doing it as well because it's getting properly into the detailing, into the machine polishing. He loves machine polishing. Sounds like a psycho moment in the shower. Well, yeah, kind of a little bit like no. She was just standing there waiting to see how long I would notice, or how soon I would notice. Rehearsing a video, was there saxophone music playing in the background? No, but it would have been more fun that way, I think. I'm waiting for you to do a detail bug review and see your thoughts. Great value to performance. Now, I have heard a few people saying good things about detail bug. We had Amber from Amber's Car Care on the podcast, and she mentioned detail bug. That's Andy Parry. I know of the brand, and I know a few people have mentioned good things about them. I have not tried any detail bug as yet. At the moment, I'm skint. I am absolutely skint. I can't go and buy any new stuff. I have been sent a bunch of stuff. I have videos in the works. I am behind on a bunch of videos that I want to make. So, one, I can't afford to buy any new products right now. Two, there's no much point because I've got a backlog of videos to do. But it might happen at some point. If Andy wants to get in touch and send me a few products to review, I'll be happy to do that. But as it stands at the moment, money and time and everything is just not sitting with me at the moment, unfortunately. Next year, once I get my car paid off, next year I will be a little bit more flush. I will have a little bit more money. I won't have to worry about going down to the wire at the end of each month. I'm not a bit well-paid YouTuber. 6,000 subs is nothing, by the way. Where are we now? I've missed. Here we go. Okay. I just know he said it was mental on the plane. I heard funny stories about that, to be perfectly honest. Auto tune available 2022. ODK's here. How's it going, Dan? Dan the man. I did a video with ODK products recently. You want to check those out? Good stuff, by the way. Good stuff. I'd always heard good things about ODK, but never had a chance to try it other than like the one sealant that I got. And then he hooked me up with a bunch of other things, including my own wax. If you haven't seen that, I think it's my last video that I put out. Paul's here. Good evening, Paul. How are you? I'm late to this video. How's everyone? Paul, we were just talking about your video, mate. After watching on the first part one of the Mercedes. So that's awesome. Dr. McSporenstein, hello, Humberto. First from Puerto Rico, how are you, sir? We were talking about your video there, Paul. I watched it, really enjoyed it. Really different content. I like seeing that. Love watching you machine polish because I know you enjoy machine polishing, and it was great to see the changes. Sucked that you had all that paint transfer on your pads. But that's expected. Single stage paint faded. That's what's going to happen. It's amazing you just don't see faded cars anymore. Since we went to two-stage paint, to two-pack paint with clear coat with UV inhibitors in them, you just don't see faded paint anymore unless it's an old car. So it's really good to see that. I was gonna have my dad's scooter over today to do a video on that, but the weather turned, as mentioned on the Instagram video earlier. The weather changed and it rained, so there you go. And tomorrow I'm going to a Ford car show thing in Aberdeenshire. It's at the Grampian Transport Museum. It's called All Ford at Afford, and so I'm going to go to that. I actually need to get on and get my tickets for it. So looking forward to going there. If anyone happens to be going, if anyone's in the Aberdeenshire area and is going to All Ford at Afford tomorrow, come say hi. Let's see. Paul, amazing video into awesomeness. Paul says low view figures at the moment till I pay people to watch a bald bloke in the sun. Yes, by the way, Paul, you were equated to Russ Abbott earlier on. that went down well, actually. more of a Sid James of detailing. This is true. He is. He's Paul and I very much have sort of Carry On movie mentality when it comes to humor. I wonder if we should tell everyone what we're doing, Paul. As far as the Christmas special podcast is concerned, some people know about it or have seen about it or heard about it, and some people haven't. Anyway. Yeah. See what he says about that. I've also got a bunch of sweeties here as well. I've got juicy sweets. Juicy detailing sweets. I gotta move all my stuff here because I've got so much rubbish. I got my snacks. If you guys haven't checked these out. Juicy details. Sweets. This is the fizzy mix. Yo. Yes, tell them XXXXXX rated podcast. Not exactly that bad, but yeah. So we've got that. Does that make you Barbara Windsor? Probably. I've got the same chest. To be perfectly honest, I got the same chest. Yeah. So this coming close to Christmas, we're gonna have a special edition of the podcast where it's gonna be Specky and Paul After Dark, and yeah, we're basically going to be putting out a podcast where it's kind of going to be unfiltered. As it stands at the moment, the way the podcast goes, I have to rein Paul in, and there's things where he'll say things and I have to bleep them, or I just have to cut them out altogether because they just can't be said. It's not PC. So it's kind of going to be unfiltered, me and Paul. It's going to be funny, that's for sure. It's going to be a laugh. It's going to be fun. We're probably going to be drunk. I'm going to have many beers, and yeah, we'll just we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. We may get a community strike on it. Who knows if that exists. Humberto says, Paul, one thing I can say is you get a suntan faster than me because of your height. I was already born with a suntan. That's true. Puerto Ricans. Paul says, be great to see you and Paul doing a detail together. Oh, mate, I would love it. I would love to make a video with Paul. And it's just, if we can, I'd love to do it. I'm sure we'll do it at some point. But as it stands at the moment, we're just too far away from each other. But we will have to sort something out, whether it's a holiday or something. Paul takes a holiday up here, I take a holiday down there, whatever. Take some time out. One of us joins the other, and we detail a car together. I think it would be hilarious, to be perfectly honest. Especially if we had like a GoPro on each. And they could hear everything we were saying, because, my God, the stuff we'd be coming out with would be hilarious. Let's see, 6 pints of mulled wine, then hit record. Yeah, that's probably it. You'll both be pissed. Yes, absolutely, Lee. That's the general idea. That is the general idea. We'll be on the mulled wine, and that's it. Waxstock 2022. Now that's a good thing. That's a good point. You should mention that. So Paul and I, because we've got the podcast, one of the things I suggested to him was that we record a podcast live at Waxstock. So there's two things that we were kind of talking about we want to happen at Waxstock, not just me and Paul, but one of the things I definitely want to be able to get some equipment. Now, I don't have it. I could take along a laptop, but it's not going to be ideal. I want to get myself a piece of equipment that allows us to record on it, and then 2 XLR microphones. Ideally 4, because what we want to do, if we can, if we talk to the Waxstock gods, is to have a little podcast recorder, like the Zoom PodTrack P4, and 4 microphones and a table. If we can have that somewhere in the hall, the main hall of Waxstock, and we can record a live podcast right there, and we'll have the 2 of us next to each other on mics, and we'll have 2 other mics set up. And then we can just wave people across that we know, other detailers, other people from the industry, business owners and whatever, personalities from the industry that we see walking by, Alan Medcraft, Jay Salton, Dale Masterman, Michael Cipriani, any of these people, these big names. just flag them over. You know, we're recording and say, look, there's such and such. There's Andy Miles. Come and join us for 5 minutes, and we sit down and we just have a chit chat. How's it going? What's been happening with you? Just, you know, have 5 minutes with them, and then Savicki comes over and has a chit chat, and so on, things like that. I think that would be wicked fun. The other thing that we want to do is Vicky has thrown down the gauntlet. She reckons that she's better at machine polishing than I am, and I want to be able to get like a test panel live at Waxstock, and we're given like 20 minutes where this panel has been set up and assessed by maybe 2 or 3 professional detailers that they've inflicted the damage, and then we'll mask it off, we'll split it in half, and then the 2 of us will go at it for 20 minutes, half an hour on the panel, whatever, and then the detailers will come back over and assess them and score them on who's better at machine polishing. She's up for it. I'm up for it. Whether or not we could make that happen is totally different. It would be funny though. Paul, I might post myself to Scotland. Do it. God knows how much it'll cost you. It cost you enough just to send me your pressure washer, by the way. Thank you again. Anybody who doesn't know, Paul's a legend. My pressure washer died. He posted me his old one because he's just that kind of guy. He's awesome. Meet at Matt's. It's about halfway. That's probably still closer to Paul than it is me, but that's not a bad shout. I quite like that idea. I'd love to get together and we could do the three of us. Dear God, Matt and I would be at each other's throats with the comedy though, because we love winding each other up. Speaking of that'll be freaking hilarious since you'll be watching Paul's chest from your view and he'll be watching just your hair. yes, that is, if you've seen us at Waxstock, the photo that I put up of the 2 of us, or the video of the 2 of us. And he's huge, and I'm not. I wonder, can I even pull this up on my other screen so you guys can see this? I'm gonna have to do this. I can do a split, not a split screen, but I can do a thing here and bring it over. This might be quite funny. I'm gonna have to find that bit in the video. God, how far back do I have to go? Well, that's 2 years ago, isn't it? So there it goes, Waxstock. I'll have to mute this video. Shut up. Right, how far along was my chat with Paul? No, it's not there. That was me and Michael. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. This is how huge he was, right? Let me switch to this. Look, there he goes. This one here. Look at... Look at him. He's a whole head bigger than me. Look at that! Look at him! I'm looking at the camera because to try and look up at him is almost impossible. I'm not actually looking at him. If you see me there, I'm not looking at him. I'm trying to. He's so huge. Oh, it's so annoying. You know, pay a bit of respect to the short guys, please. Let's see, I'll be in charge of interviewing all the females. No. It's the Specky and Paul. You gotta at least get me involved a little bit. Come on, give me a chance. Me and Jay Bouncers will be up for that. Wicked. Yes, definitely do it. Do it, man. That's Dan, go for it. Come along. Because I'm very good with my hands. That was my line from my video. How dare you? I'm very good with my hands. That was my Auto Glim Super Resin Polish versus Machine Polisher video. I said that and a lot of people didn't click to the joke, and then someone finally commented and goes, I get it now. Felt vindicated. There you go. Savicki polishing comment below. Meaning defending yourself, but yeah, well, this is it. Andy needs babysitters, little and large. Yes, that's what we are, little and large. He's standing in a manhole. It looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like I am just tiny compared to him. I am. I mean, I can't believe he's a whole head higher than me. And the thing is, I've shrunk over the years. I've got shorter. So the distance, mind you, you're also 50. So hopefully you've come down. So hopefully we're going to be shrinking at about the same rate. That would be good. He's a whole foot over me since he's 6'5" and I'm a midget 5'5". Ha! That means I'm bigger than you. I'm like 5'6". Ha! A Wookiee and Ewok. Thanks for that. He's Chewbacca and I'm Wicket. dear God. Oh, that sucks. Oh, hey, we could go to Comic-Con like that. Wouldn't that be a laugh? Anyway, what else we got to talk about? Oh, I got some questions. I asked people, Wookiee and R2-D2. No. I'm not R2. That's even smaller, isn't it? When Wicket stood next to R2-D2, was he saying that? Maybe he was the same height, actually. Warwick Davis in a little suit there. Yeah, probably, actually. Probably. Right, I don't even know what that is email. Right, I got messages. I got a couple of questions that I was asked to answer in this podcast. So, let's find them if I can. Here we go. That's that one there. Right, one question. Iron Brew, drug or drink? For many Scots, it's a bit of both. To be perfectly honest. Some people are, although since it's changed and it's gone less sugar, it's no longer quite as favoured, but it is still, I think it's still outselling Coca-Cola, which is like one of only a handful of countries in the world where a local drink outsells Coca-Cola. And I think it's like Scotland, Brazil, and there might be one in the kind of Far East, Asia or something like that. I think there's only 3 countries in the world where Coca-Cola is not the number one selling drink because it's a bigger local drink instead. Stu did ask, what flavor is Iron Brew? And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know. It's not a describable flavor. You cannot say it's this or it's that because it's unique. Nothing else tastes like it. Just Bald Chris did ask a question. This is a really good question, by the way. I just want to read these comments before I get to this question because it's a great question. At least you see eye to eye. That's true. Okay, so this is a really interesting question. It's going a bit serious now. YouTube and sponsorship within the video. Is this fair when a YouTuber pays premium to be advert free? I think what it means is that someone watching YouTube, a subscriber or whatever, you subscribe to YouTube Premium and you don't get interrupted by adverts. Is it fair that that person has paid not to be interrupted by adverts? And then there's sponsorship within the video. So I had a chat to Natalie about this, and I think it's a fair question. And the answer is, it is fair to a certain extent. You're not being interrupted by adverts which perhaps have nothing to do with the content in question. So let's say you're watching one of my videos and it interrupts you with a video about one of these crypto trading things, or about Audible, for example. That's a common one. Get a free audiobook on us when you start your free trial. But you're not going to be interrupted by those. Now, to be sponsored is slightly different than regular advertising. For example, I could be talking about the latest polish from G3 Pro, but the channel is sponsored by, for example, Autoglym, right? I'm not saying it is, but let's just say, for example. Does that mean that you can say that you don't have to listen to that sponsorship? And I think this is what it comes down to. That sponsorship is not an advert per se. It could be. You see it on channels like if you're a geek, if you like your tech, Linus Tech Tips. His videos are always sponsored by someone. Every video is sponsored by someone. Is that an advert per se? Kind of yes, kind of no. What you're saying is you're being sponsored and that they have this kind of product. There's no way, as far as I can tell, in the YouTube algorithm or in the editing of a video that you can say, by the way, for anyone who has YouTube Premium, chop this bit out or watch a different version that is sponsorship free. So there's that. By the same token, sponsorship, in a way, you could look at it. There's lots of different ways you could look at it. Some people will say that sponsorship could be something as simple as, this company sent me this product for review. Now, technically speaking, is that advertising? Yes. Technically, it is advertising. Anytime they send you something for review, they are gaining views, gaining exposure for this product. Now, it's all really down to whether or not the reviewer likes or dislikes the product. Now, it is possible that a company sends you X product and I try it on and I go, wow, this is actually garbage. This is rubbish. I'm going to tell you that it's garbage. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you it's rubbish. It's not worth buying. Now, that's bad advertising for that company. So you could look at it and say, well, then that's not really sponsorship. Well, it is in a way. They are assisting you by maybe not giving you money, but they are giving you a product which allows you to make content, and that content allows you to get views, and those views will be compensated by Google for the ad revenue and so on that comes from that video. Now, you could have ad blockers on your video and that will stop those ads from popping up, but it won't stop a sponsored spot on that video or a mention that this company sent me this product for free. So there's many ways you could look at this. It is kind of fair because without some of that sponsorship, without some of that assistance from other companies, from these companies that send you products, many of these channels would disappear because not everyone can afford to go and buy hundreds of different products to review. They just don't, whenever someone is starting out, it's great to get some support from a company. I'm sorry, it's absolutely roasting in here. I need to open this window because I'm boiling. It's 24 degrees up here. I'll open this as well and see if I can get some airflow. So yeah, you without getting products, when you start out, if you've got the money for it, great. But if you don't have the money and you're being sent products to help you out, to give you content, then by that way of looking at it, these people wouldn't have a channel to make in the first place. So it's kind of fair. You have to let them have something. You have to give them a little bit of leeway. Now, if half of their video is sponsorship, buy these products, then yeah, okay, fair enough. I get you. That's perhaps unfair. But if it says this video is sponsored by X and they make X and it takes 5 seconds of that video, 10 seconds of that video, I think that's fair. But if it was to be many, many, many minutes, then I see where you're coming from. I do get it. Paul says, I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored, but I have a PayPal account. Hint, hint. Know what you mean, mate. Know what you mean. By the way, if anyone wants to support my channel, I have a thing where you can buy me a coffee or a beer thing. Go into my link tree and you'll see it there. Thank you very much. First, the promotion / sponsored method depends upon contract. This is it. I mean, if you don't have a contract, it's not technically sponsorship because that person who's receiving the product to review can say anything they want because there's no contract in place. So there's that. That is definitely a thing. I see where he's coming from, 100%. So yeah, it's a difficult one to navigate that one. How would YouTube make that skippable? You've paid to not have ads, but you haven't paid to not have sponsored shouts or mentions that X company has provided this product and so on, and you can buy them and there's links down below and so on. So I think there has to be a little bit of give and take in both situations. You have to have certain allowances, but I certainly would say that anyone who makes a video and puts half of their video as mention of the product or the sponsorship, then that is going to be a difficulty. Depends on product too. Something relevant, yes. Yeah, well, again, yes, relevancy. That's what I was trying to say. Watching my videos and then getting a video about Audible is not relevant. If it was more catered to your kind of stuff, that's a different story. I'm contracted to my wife. I earn, she gets. That's pretty much the way it goes, mate, to be perfectly honest, isn't it? That's exactly how it is. I just realized I've had all these crisps sitting here and I haven't eaten a single one. Anyway, so next video for me, possibly going to be the machine polishing for beginners, or or maybe the scooter. It depends. I think the scooter would have to wait until 2 weekends from now, to be honest. I think, because I was going to do it today and then the weather turned. So I'm not sure when I'm going to manage to do that. We'll just have to see. What's Alex saying here? If you did the joint video, Paul can clean Range Rover roof with ease. And you can do the alloys in that bright dripping purple colour. I know where you're going with that one. Don't get me started. Don't. No, fine, you've done it. Okay, you got me started. Okay. Iron fallout removers. Don't use them on dirty wheels. Just don't. So many people are doing it. People are tagging me in it. They're doing it. And they're taking pictures and they're tagging me in it just to wind me up. Like, let's get specky. Screw you guys. Don't use iron fallout remover on dirty wheels. That's another one that bugged me. I'm not going to say which company did this, but they put out a video showing their wheel cleaner, and it was on a sort of TikTok style video. It was on a reel for Instagram, and it said spray it onto a dry wheel and that allows it to adhere for longer. That's just a pre-wash. Why do you need to use their non-dilutable wheel cleaner on a dry wheel? Use a pre-wash on there. Get a citrus, get an APC. Spray it onto a dry wheel if you want. And then make sure you rinse it off. And then make sure that you give the wheel as much attention as possible before you then spray a proper wheel cleaner on it and give it a physical agitation. But don't just spray a wheel cleaner onto a dry wheel and then start going at it. Jesus. I'm not going to say who did that, but it bugged me. First, there you go. Yes, that happened to me after divorce. Oh dear. Who's the next guest on the podcast? Good question. Good question. Phil, how's it going, my friend? No, don't do one tomorrow, Paul. Don't. Just don't. Next guest on the podcast. I'll have to discuss that with Paul. There's a few people would like to get on. So far, we've had Vicky. We've had Amber from Amber's Car Care. That was great. We've spoken with the Speed 6 guys. If you haven't listened to that, by the way, we did a 2-part podcast with the Speed 6 podcast guys, which was good fun. I don't know who we're going to have next. I know you know the one you mean, saying spray on a dry wheel. Yeah, well, you might. I think when it comes to who we're going to have next, I would like to have someone from a retailer, a reseller of sorts, someone from somewhere like cleanyourcar.co.uk or IO Detail, or maybe IO Detail's a bit newer. It's a younger company. I want to go slightly older, so Clean Your Car or County Detailing or something like that. Some company that has seen the detailing industry from over many years to be able to give us an insight as far as the retail space is concerned, and the buying habits and what has become popular, what has died off, what has become less popular, what brands have done very well over the years, what brands we don't see anymore that they used to stock. I think that would be really interesting. Paul's the same. I think we need a retailer. So yeah, someone from County Detailing or someone from Clean Your Car. Those are two big sites that provide products from all sorts of different manufacturers. I think they would be the kind of people that we'd like to have on, because they would give us a really interesting insight into the industry that we simply don't see from that side. We are consumers. And I want to see what they say. I want to know what they can tell us from their perspective. I think that would give us a completely different perspective on the whole industry in general. And they can talk about products, as in chemical products. They can talk about physical products, accessories, and so on. They can perhaps talk about who they sell to, as far as whether it's an average Joe, a weekend warrior, or perhaps it's they sell more to professionals, detailers, valeters, and so on. I really think that would be interesting. Humberto says, what about the detailing girl? Paul will not let you ask questions. I did actually message her. That's Esme. I messaged her and I said at some point we'd maybe like to see about getting you on the podcast. What do you think? And she said yes. She's really busy right now, but once she's got a bit of spare time, we can maybe get her on. She's got really good English. She's Dutch, but she's got really great English, and she also is she represents Angel Wax, which is a Scottish brand. So she's obviously got good communication with them as well. So I like the idea of getting Esme on. She'll have a quite a unique perspective on how this is and her journey from it as well. I think that would be a good shout, to be honest. How about getting Zita Grace Daniels on the podcast from or someone from Built Hamburg? Who is Zita Grace Daniels? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go and Google this. I don't know who that is. Who is it? Who is it? Zita Grace Daniels, where are you from? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Zita details. I'm looking up in Instagram right now. Female vehicle detailer, detailing services in Southeast, training days, accredited auto bead detailer. Okay, I've never seen her Instagram account before, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means I haven't come across it yet. But I'll give her a follow anyway. If she's interesting enough to get on, I'm keen to look into that. Missed this. What we're going right? Okay. 3 weeks to new car delivery. Ooh, what are you getting? I missed that one. Sorry. I answer a message, come back, and he's on. I know you love me, Lee. It's okay. It's fine. It's all right. Just never anyone from the local supermarket car park asking, you want car clean? No, that's okay. We're not going there. we're not going there. Don't worry about it. What about somebody from abroad? Differences in the UK scene and theirs. Well, that's it. That detailing girl, say she's Dutch. She's from the Netherlands. Again, she would have an interesting, because they can't. I believe they can't wash their car in the street or use shampoos and stuff in the street because they're not allowed to have the stuff running away into the drainage. She washes cars with steam. Which is interesting. She cleans cars with steam mostly. So that's really interesting. That would be very, very good. Good evening, Flipper. How are you, sir? Pan the advertiser. Well, you've already said his name there. That's not a bad idea. Personally, I quite like the idea of talking to Pan because he would have an interesting insight. He's been in YouTube for longer than us, and I think he'd have very interesting things to talk about, especially being Canadian as well, being closer to the US market and so on. That could be worthwhile shout. John from Clean and Shiny. Another shout. Good. Good evening, Garage Therapy. Good evening, Maz. How are you, sir? Haven't chatted in a while. We need to put together put aside like a weekend to have a chat. Maz and I never talk for a short time. We get on the phone. It's like, I'm just gonna have 5 minutes of your time. So 5 hours later, when our other halves are looking at us dirty, that's when we realise we've been on for too long. The lads from Pro Detailer. Not a bad shout there as well, actually, Mr. Grump. That's not bad at all. Toyota Corolla Sports Tourer in black. Oh, that's your car, is it? Oh, is that the new shape Corolla? They're nice. The Sports Tourer as well. I like the look of those. They're good looking cars. Specky for sure. Phil Miranda will be easy for you, especially to do comparisons UK and US. Well, yeah, Phil Miranda might be a good shout. Actually, we've had him. We worked together with him when we did a collaboration video with 4 Channels. Earlier, was it last year or was it this year? I can't even remember when we did that. But we know Phil, and he's popped onto lives every now and then when I've been chatting. So Phil might be someone that definitely we could get on. I tell you who I'd also like to have is I've got a list on my phone actually of possible guests. I've got Alan Medcraft of AM Details because he's local and he's very well known. We love him. He would be a good shout, I think, but he's been on lots of podcasts, so he's not really up there because he's everyone's heard his story. So he's on there, but he's not like top of the list, but definitely on the list. We've got Maz and Rog from Garage Therapy, we're definitely going to get them on at some point as well. Once we can work out logistics of timings and so on. Somebody mentioned Malcolm from Power Spray Kranzel, because he could have an interesting perspective from his involvement in the industry. Andy Miles from Miles Drive, Gary at Pro D, because he started the Pro D cast, the Prodcast, so we get to talk to him as well. Tommy Teapot from Maguire's has agreed to do it at some point. I want to get Luke and Michael from the Tranquility Base detailing channel. We're going to talk detailing sprays with them, I think. Paul would really love to get Larry Cosilla from Ammo NYC, the Drive Clean channel. That's his dream. Paul has a real crush on Larry. He's got a thing for Larry. Let's see. SON, yes. Icon Tech trim. Oh, I don't know the trims, but I know which one you're talking about. I know the car at least. It was last year and it was awesome. Oh, the collaboration, was that last year? Was it? It sounds about right. Don't think it was this year. It must have been last year. Just trying to decide which LSP to go with first. Decisions. Do you know what? That's a thing that I spoke about on a podcast with Paul. Was, do you really need a long-lasting LSP? Does it have to be? If you're the kind of person like us where you really enjoy car care, does it matter if it only lasts a month or two? Because you're going to go back out and do it again, aren't you? Unless you're the kind of person that just wants to be done, leave it alone and walk away. In which case, just go and get yourself a pot of, if you can get the old one, the Soft 99 Fuso coat. Because it'll last you a year. Just do it and leave it. But if you're not, refresh it. Do it often. Little and often is great because it's always fresh. So it doesn't really need to last super duper long. It's a collaboration. Okay, thank you, Humberto. That's fine. Okay, let's see. Any advice on a liquid wax? Liquid waxes, they're all pretty good, to be honest. I really like, if you want one that's super easy to use and you don't care about the weather, whether it's sunny or dull, I gotta remember, the Monster Shine Dominator Hybrid Wax is a wicked liquid wax. Really nice. Like, super easy to use. Super easy to apply. It cures pretty quickly. It buffs off like a dream. It is fantastic for a liquid wax. I don't use many liquid waxes, but that one is really good. I'm a big fan of that one. As far as a liquid wax is concerned, that's a corker. It really is a corker, and I think it's decent value for money, and it lasts a good amount of time too. And if you combine that with their sealer glaze as well, you put the sealer glaze on first, and then the Dominator Hybrid Wax on top of that, it's like match made in heaven. They're fantastic products. Get the car cleaning guru. I asked him. He's not on the list because I asked him. I reached out to him and I said, would you be interested? And he said he's not. He's been offered umpteen different other podcasts. He's been offered TV appearances as well, and he's turned all of it down. It's not his thing. He's happy to do the YouTube and just stick with that. I said to him, if you ever change your mind, then get in touch. And he said he would. But for the moment, he is not. He's not interested in appearing on anybody's podcast. So Firdaus, you know, I mean, we're just little tiny guys. We're just a really, really small pair of dudes. I know, not size wise, but a very, very small podcast. So, you know, I wasn't expecting him to say yes straight away. But he says he's not doing it with anybody at all. So that's Firdaus. Let's see, cleaning a car tomorrow. New car from the dealer. The wheels are covered in some sort of dunk. I'm assuming that means gunk. Why? See, this is the thing. It comes from a dealer and you just don't know what they've been putting on it. You know, they could have been putting some sort of weird silicone stuff on the wheels and the tires, and it's just started to build up crap. That sucks. That definitely sucks. Yeah, you'll need to get on that. Oh, Chris has had experience. I've just experienced that nightmare. Get yourself some good APC, you know, Citrus or something, or even TFR if you want to go that far. I mean, if it's new car, you know, using TFR early on won't really cause any issues. But you want something that's going to be powerful to cut through that at least. So yeah, get yourself a good APC or a TFR. I like Stjarnagloss Forced. I know it's ready to use, but it's really good stuff. It's really wicked stuff. I'll tell you what I really liked recently is those two products I got from Detailed Online, the color changing reacting wheel cleaner with iron follic remover from Detailed Online, and their tire cleaner. Really, really good stuff, and good value for money as well. Stu says it'll be transit wax coating. No, I don't know anything about transit wax. I've heard of this, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know what they use. APC failed to dent it. Really? Wow. Failed to dent. Wow. Okay. GM Details suggested tar remover. That's a fair point. Using a solvent cleaner like tar and glue remover might be something worthwhile doing. I just sent you the photo of the guy that's in R2D2. Yeah, Kenny something or other, isn't it? Kenny. I'm looking at my phone now. Yes, I forget his last name. Kenny something or other was the little guy as R2D2. Yes, but wow, I need to Google it now. R2D2. Kenny Baker. That's it. Kenny Baker. Yeah. Besides the other characters, yes, he's little tiny guy. Bless him. They probably forgot to remove it. It's a thick wax on new cars to protect them. Really? But what wax? Like, what do they use? Is there a generic transit wax, or is it just any wax that they want to? I'd be very interested to learn what that's about. It'd be worthwhile talking to dealerships or car manufacturers, depending on who it is that applies them. That's really interesting, actually. Because if it's good, if it lasts a long time, why aren't we using it? You know, but maybe it is horrible to use. Maybe it's horrible stuff. I'd be very interested. Sound like a short job cleaning the wheels is going to be a tough one. It's just, that's just going to have to be the way it is. You're going to have to use the right tools and the right chemicals and so on. And if it takes multiple hits, then it takes multiple hits. There's not much you're going to be able to do about that. Stronger dilution ratios of your APC or TFR. Even, dare I say it, wheel acid, perhaps. Again, if it's new wheels, if it's a brand new car, it's going to withstand a little bit of punishment. So something like that might be the way to go. KKD, forget the name of their wheel acid now. Mind you, there was that guy that was mentioned in the episode with the Speed 6 guys who were talking about health and safety that inhaled that stuff and ended up with permanent lung damage. Use PPE, guys. Use common sense and use your PPE. Get your gloves on, get a mask on, get goggles on. Look after yourselves, for God's sake. I used an APC, Autoglands Rebound, and Garage Therapy 0, 10 to 1, bugger all. Really? That's some strong stuff. Wayside Car Valeting, good evening, Captain. How are you, sir? Just sailing out of Southampton, bound for the Scottish island of Iona. Really? Well, would you give me a wave from all the way to the other side of Scotland? Because I'm on the wrong side of Scotland. Notice that no cruise ships go up the east coast of Scotland, do they? Or, well, no, they do actually. That's a lie. They go up to like Iceland and the Faroe Islands and things like that. But anyway, yes, pay regards to Scotland and say hello for me. How about Dave from Epic Car Show? I don't think Dave's interested in our channels or anything like that. Ever since we did the collaboration with him, doing those 4 videos in one go, we never hear from him now. So I don't think he's interested, to be perfectly honest. It's just my opinion, but no, he never interacts. We never hear anything from him, and we talk to a bunch of different people, but we never hear anything from Dave. He's got his own thing going on, to be perfectly honest. He's got a really successful channel. He's doing really well for himself, so I don't really think he needs to worry about coming on with us. A good TFR sounds good. Yeah, get a good TFR. I was tempted to say yum yum. I'm saying nothing. I know what you're talking about. I'm saying nothing. Inver Gordon soon. Inver Gordon. On the way to Iona. Hang on a minute. Are you sailing up the east coast? Where were you sailing from? Southampton. Bound for Iona. That sounds like you're going up the west coast though, doesn't it? Are you going up the West Coast? Hold on just a cotton picking minute. Hud your horses. Now, where is Iona? No, that's egg. That's rum. That's canna. No, that's not it. No, that's Tyree. That's Cole. Okay. I've just realized I actually don't know where Iona is, even though that's the name of... Oh, there it is. That's the name of one of my cousin's children. Yeah, so you're going up... Hang on. Hang on just a minute. So you said Iona first and then round the top. Okay, so Invergordon after. Right. Well, if you go to Invergordon, you won't be that far away from me, to be perfectly honest, because I'm right up at the top north coast. So Invergordon, that's Invergordon there. What are you doing in Invergordon? Is there somewhere you can stop in Invergordon? Can you stop in Invergordon? Is that a cruise terminal thing? Ship thing? Parking space there? My God, there are things there. That could be it. Is that really it? There's a Cromarty Firth Port Authority. Do you guys moor up there? Do you? Wow. Well, then you're not that super duper far away from me. You should come on shore. If you can get across a little bit, you go past Lossiemouth and so on. Eventually, you come across to see Old Specky. Okay, I have their ceramic and fair play. I like it. That's fair enough. I've never tried a Yums product yet, so that's it. I've never tried one. I've heard conflicting information. Some people have said it's good. Some people have said it's not. The thing I hear most about it is it's overpriced. I haven't tried them, so I can't comment on that. If it's good and it's worth the money, then great. Simple as that. Anyway. I didn't know you went into Invergordon, by the way, Jeremy. Oh, that's interesting. It's a shame that there's nowhere else you can go in here. So where do you go from Invergordon? I'm looking on Google Maps here. At some point, you will actually be able to you'll be able to dock, you'll be able to moor in Aberdeen, because they're building a harbour extension. It's the Aberdeen Harbour Extension Project, and yeah, you're going to have somewhere that you can moor. They're going to have cruise ships to be able to come to Aberdeen and realise that there's nothing in Aberdeen. Aberdeen's going to have to up its game. It's not very good for tourism. Lee says, got to laugh. My mate that shares my unit just sent me a picture of a duck walking around in there. A duck walking around in there. I forgot to tell him one flew over the fence this afternoon. Put the duck down, for God's sake. What's he doing with the duck? Just polishing a car with this duck. It was buffed with lovely soft duck down. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. We don't, I miss my old house here, where my ex-wife lives, because peacocks live nearby. And the amount of times that we would look out the window or just walk out the front door and here's 3 peacocks just chilling on the driveway. So my ex-father-in-law, he would go out with some food for them, just throw out, some grains and stuff. It was amazing. Loved it. I really loved it. It's a shame we don't get that kind of thing down here. Now I'm in the town instead of being out in the sticks, or at least less in the sticks. We don't get that kind of excitement. All we get is cats. And ours is one of them. See, Phil says, I do like the Yum ceramic, the Yum wax. Need to use it some more to decide if I like it or not, truth be told. Fair point. Yep. That's it. You don't really know how a product works until you give it some practice and use it more than once. Have a decent experience with it. Trying something once is never enough. That's why oftentimes when I'm making a video of a review, it's not the first time I've used it. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. Sometimes I want to build up an idea, an expectation of it. Sometimes I want to be surprised. I'll tell you something I did buy. The last thing that I bought was the updated version of the Turtle Wax hybrid sealant. Not the ceramic stuff, but the polymer one. The polymer and natural wax one. they had an updated formula of it, so I bought that just to find out if that's as good as the old one. So I've got the two of them. I'm going to put them side by side and see if the one is better than the other. I've also got a car coming up. I've got a Ford Edge in pearlescent white coming. It's Natalie's uncle's car. It was what do you call it? Personal contract hire car. You know, a lease car, and he wanted to change it to something new, and they said there are no brand new cars going in the UK right now. There's just none of them. So he's decided to buy that car. Now he's had it for 3 years. He's decided to buy it and keep it, so he wants to look after it. So I offered to do the car ages ago, so he's going to take me up on the offer now, and he's going to have the car come across to me. So I'll film that. I'll get Natalie to help me with it because it's a big car. And we'll do as much as we can. We will fully decontaminate the car. I will clean it. I will get the iron follic remover on there, the tar remover, everything. Being a pearlescent white car, it should be easy to see any of the contaminants on there. We might clay it. I might not. It depends on what the paint feels like. If I'm going to clay it, it means I might have to polish it. And realistically, if you're going to clay, you want to polish. It depends what he's after. If he's not after it that badly, because at the end of the day, you got to do what the customer asks of you. If he doesn't want it clayed, fine, I won't bother with it, and we'll just go with a really good decontamination without claying, and then we'll put some protection on there. He's not the kind of person to look after it regularly, like with a good long-term protection or anything. He likes to go out with a bucket and a sponge. I'm gonna have to make sure he uses a wash mitt, 2 buckets, and I'll maybe give him one of my older spray on rinse off products, and then every time he washes the car he could just spray some on and rinse it off again and just top up his protection. Again, topping up fresh protection is great. It's rather than having to worry about leaving it once and waiting for a year and hoping that it lasts you that amount of time. You know, everyone's different, but that's what I would say is good for him. I have a question for all of you. Oh, hello. Oh, hang on. I do like the Bear Car Care ceramic. Is that the ceramic detailer? That's a nice one. I had that one. Had the odd goat one walking once walking along the street, going where the hell it came from. Okay, we got a duck and a goat. See if anyone can raise a duck or goat. If you can beat a duck or a goat, I'll be happy. I have a question for all of you. How many of you have been asked by a customer to clean and dress both sides of their tires? I've had 2 customers who always want that done. Really? The inside of the tires? Okay. I mean, if it's like a show car and you park it up on full lock, yeah, you might want to do that, but otherwise, well, that's a weird one. That's an interesting one, Humberto. Where did you get the improved sealant hydrophobic wax? I've asked Turtle Wax several times with no response. It was a local Motor Factor. Yeah. It wasn't Halfords or anything like that. It was a local Motor Factor. I was just in there on the off chance, just having a look around. I was just wasting a bit of time, and I wanted to have a nose around and see what they had. They've really increased their product line, all the different products they're carrying, and I spotted it. I stumbled across it, and I just thought, hello, £8. I'm buying that, and yeah. So I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, I know what you mean. It seems to be rare at the moment. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I told Matt from Detailing World about it and asked him the very same question about the dressing the tires. Yeah, it's a weird one, to be honest. Never heard of that. Never, as I don't do it professionally. There you go, says Phil. Have you ever fancied doing a disaster recovery vehicle? What do you mean? Like a car's really bad and trying to... Well, I'm not going to say no. I wouldn't say I would fancied it, but I wouldn't say no to trying it, to be honest. There's a pond behind the fence in front of my unit. Oh, that's where the duck comes from, is it? Okay, all right. I'm also not a professional since I do this as a side job, says Humberto. Okay. Were they motorbikes? You're not supposed to dress motorbike tires, are you? Because there's such a little amount of bead to go in, because you can't dress the tread. You know, and the tread on a motorbike tire goes really far around the sides. There's not much to dress there, is there? That's an interesting one. Anyway, we've been on for an hour. I'm sorry to say, we've been on for an hour. I don't know if you guys want to call it a day there. If there's anything else you want to talk about, any questions you want to ask, anything else you want to be discussed, you know. But otherwise, if you don't want to, I'm happy to call it a day there and go ahead and finish my beer. There's a lot of questions going on here. Fair enough. To me, sounded like a professional. Yeah, he does. He knows his things, though. Humberto's been in it for a while. Porsche and muscle car 454. They are driven weekly, but not for motor shows. Okay, there you go. That's a weird one. I've never ever heard of anyone want to dress the inside of tires. But you know, like I said, if you're at a car show and you're parking with your wheels to full lock, you might want the insides dressed. But God, that would be difficult to get in there and clean them properly first before dressing them. It's going to be a bit of a difficulty unless you can jack the car up and get in underneath, you know what I mean? Anyway, I think we're going to call it a day there then if there's nothing else going on. So, thanks all very much. Before you go away, would you do me a very kind favour and hit the like button just so the YouTube algorithm has some favourable things to say about me? That would be very nice, and it would bump up the channel. I apologise for not putting out a video this week. As I said, with the funeral and everything going on, it was tough to get that done, but I will get something out as soon as I can that's hopefully decent for you guys to watch. So yeah, if you could do me a favour, hit that like button before you leave. I would be greatly appreciated. Getting that look from the wife. no, I like to kind of leave it about an hour. Any more than that and it gets a bit daft. So if you guys want to check out anything else that's going on in the channel, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you listen to the podcast every other Tuesday. That'll be going out this coming Tuesday. Thank you, Phil. Bless you. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate all of you for coming along, stopping by, saying hi. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that might be, or the next live chat, whether it's going to be on Instagram or if it's going to be on here. I just put it on here for a change because it's a bit easier with the lights and the mic and all these things here. Anyway, yeah, thanks all for coming along, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all of your support. And there's still lots of chat going on. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to leave now.